Chris, do you want to say a few words before I?
Well, thank you for coming. Nice to see some familiar faces and some new faces. Hello. What we decided that we would do is, rather than do a sort of double active presentation, that John's going to share some theoretical ideas, slides and various things that will then lead us into a sort of more open discussion of the themes. I think, though, I would like to at least frame this conversation with the statement or acknowledgement about the war that is providing the context for many unhoused minds and a good deal of inhospitable environments across the world, and that perhaps just to sort of hold that in mind as we discuss. I'm sure it is in all of our minds, but it would be, I think, important that we at least position ourselves and acknowledge that contextual reality from the beginning. So that said, without much more ado, perhaps John, if you want to do your bit.
Okay, I'll try and do my thing. So I'm just going to share some slides and speak to them, say for about 20-25 minutes. So not a long ordeal by PowerPoint, but let me just share the screen. Actually, just move that there, just adjusting my screens, bear with me. Okay. As Chris has already suggested and evoked, we live in unsettling and unsettled times. This book and this project and the Diogenes Paradigm, I think, is concerned with questions of safety and security, and whose safety and whose security we're speaking of. As safe as houses goes the old saying, but how safe is that? How does safety correlate to housing? Is safety a recognizable idea to somebody who does not feel safe, or has never felt safe, or has forgotten how to feel safe? In my NHS work, I talk about safe spaces. When I started to try and not talk about safe spaces because there's a possible presumption about whether it is a safe space or for whom it is a safe space. So there's a sort of question: who gets to write the book on states of unsafety? Who gets to make a ruling or have the last word as to how safe or secure one could or should feel? So here's a poem. We like to start with a poem. This is Langston Hughes, Vagabonds. We are the desperate who do not care, the hungry who have nowhere to eat, no place to sleep, the tearless who cannot weep. The paradigm we're speaking to arises out of something called the problem of homelessness, and we have I suppose, perhaps a particular take on what the problem of homelessness is, and we looking at the continuing inability that we might have collectively in our communities, societies in the global north, continuing inability to integrate into our responses and interventions to something called homelessness, both the sociological fact of dispossession, of not having a fixed abode, and the psychological experience of feeling disrespected or not feeling welcomed, not being accommodated. So what's it like to have, not to have a place to belong?